Renee, thank you so much for joining me on the Retail Horror podcast. I am so excited to interview you because you're just your personality. I'm so excited for people to hear your energy.
I mean, you can keep going. I'm here for all that.
You okay? So a little backstory is everyone knows I did the UPP event, which I've never gone to one of those events with like all this feminine energy and like business entrepreneurs. And you were the head speaker, and you were the one leading the crowd, and you were fucking hilarious. But more of what I took away from that was your roundtable with the repurposing content, and I because I'm like, I get busy like everybody else does with Instagram. I was only able to handle, to be honest, just my Instagram. And I hired a virtual assistant, and now she's doing all repurposing old content as well as like what's going on now, which I never did. And that's all because of you. Just to let you know.
Aw, thank you. I'm so glad. That's like the whole goal of everything I teach is just like to wake you up and switch your mind a little bit. Because we get so tunnel vision and we're like, okay, one platform and then it stops, or we create content for just one thing and then we move on to the next, and we get on this hamster wheel of just consistently creating, and you can't sustain that. It's exhausting.
I'll tell you, the hardest part was like having to sit there and put a month's worth of content on a calendar. I'm like,
Yes.
it was
That's
fucking painful. I'm like, I
no.
mean, because I'm used to doing it at 4 a.m. I get up before I go to jobs. I know it's crazy, but sit there, have coffee, whatever. I'll do my post and then I'm done. Then I don't have to worry about it. And I do stories all day because my retailers follow along and we're on jobs. But having to sit there and like painfully map out a month and thinking that far in advance, but I swear to God, it was the best thing ever.
It is. And it's just I always tell people like to remember, like, if you look at a schedule of content for a month and it makes you like stress out, then don't do it. Like, I'm not even kidding, because people would tell me that like you have to schedule it, and it would be like so much better. But I just can't. I do everything on feeling. So I have my bank, and then I go to my bank, and then I choose what I want to pick. But versus like it's scheduled, I'm done. Like, that gives me anxiety. I can't even handle that.
I agree. So tell everybody about yourself, and I want most importantly you to tell people how you got the girlfriend Renee name.
Oh my gosh.
I forget where I heard that, but I'm like, okay, that's fucking brilliant.
Yeah, so I was a stay-at-home mom. I've been a hairstylist. I've done everything, right? Like, my entire life is like I do a lot of things. So I was a stay-at-home mom after quitting hairstylist, spray tanning. I've done all the things, and I was getting like anxiety. I started going down because I was such a big people business. Like, I would do hair and I'd be in the salon for 24 hours. You know what I mean? Like, I'd be like around people all day. And then I came home and I was alone like all day. So I started getting anxiety. My husband's like, you need to do something. Like, you're starting to go backwards and we need to figure something out. So there's this women in business workshop, kind of similar to UPP, like where you're just bringing all these people together. It was a lot more intimate. And I was like, I'm going to this. I have to go to this. I don't know why. It was in St. Louis. It was like, I've never flown by myself before, never booked a hotel before. I was like, I'm going to this thing. And my husband's like, yeah, okay. You're going to start a vlog. It's going to be amazing. I'm like, yes. So I go, and within that first day, I was in a room with like so many different women at different levels and industries and things, and they were so encouraging. And I was like, oh my gosh, these are my people. Like, I'm not weird. These are my people. They're just kind of like me. And so I was like, I'm here to start a blog. And they're like, all right, well, here's what you should do. And so by that night, I had my domain secured. I had my website ready to go. I had everything by that first day. And we were in a room, and there was a speaker. They were virtually, and I just got like all these ideas, just these downloads like instantly. And I kept writing it, and I'm like, my girlfriend Renee, because they're like, what are you going to call it? I'm like, I don't know, like Renee's blog, you know? And they're like, yeah, no, that sucks. So I just got this idea of my girlfriend Renee, and they're like, what does that mean? And I'm like, well, in my hairstylist days and my tanning days, people would be like, oh, where did you get your hair done? Or where do you get your spray tan? And they'd be like, oh, you got to go see my girlfriend Renee. And then that's just been my like go-to forever in my businesses. So it just naturally evolved into that. And I was like, that's exactly what it is. And my brand has grown. That was in 2019. And my brand has grown obviously through a lot of different stages and evolutions. And it's always been like the home base. Because when you meet me, you're like, oh my gosh, that's my girlfriend Renee for sure. Like, it totally matches.
So how, okay, so I think you had said when you finally put your blog out and it was like nothing.
Oh,
Like
it sucked. Oh my gosh, it sucked. Yeah.
what
Oh my gosh.
what were you blogging about? Because I mean I know
Lifestyle
that's
stuff. Yeah. I didn't know.
a,
I literally was like, I'm going to write about this. Like, I think I was like, because I wrote about mom stuff. I wrote about clothes. I wrote about fitness. It was just a lifestyle. It was everything that was going on in my life. And I was like, this is one thing that I love about me is that I'm not one of those overthinkers. I do and then think later. So
that's
by the
amazing.
time, like, I always say I'm the person that jumps into the pool and then realizes I didn't bring any clothes and I have to sit in wet clothes the rest of the night. Like, that's me. So anything I do in business, anything, I don't think too long. I just go. So I just went. I wrote whatever the hell I wanted to write. And then I was like, come everybody read my girlfriend Renee blog. And nobody came. And I was like, what the heck? This is amazing. I just spent so much time stressing out. Me and my husband were fighting because we're trying to build this stupid website. Like, and nobody's reading it. Like, what is this crap? And so I was like, okay, I got to figure out how I'm going to grow this thing. Nobody cares who I am. Nobody knows who I am. I had like just Instagram. I didn't even know how to send emails. I didn't even have a laptop. I had a phone. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't have anything. And I was using my husband's like work computer. Like I didn't even have a laptop. So finally he was like, okay, if you're going to do this, like you're going to drive me crazy. We're going to get you a laptop. So this is my first ever like computer I've ever owned is this laptop. Like I'm not even kidding. And I wrote it. And so I started Googling like everybody else. And I was like, okay, how do you grow a blog? And it was Pinterest. Pinterest was like the pop-in thing. I was like, all right. So I learned Pinterest inside and out, which my human design is a projector. So it makes sense that I would try and master all of these damn things. So I mastered Pinterest, like mastered it so much that people started paying me to do their Pinterest. And I grew my blog. I grew my brand. I grew my email list. I grew everything through Pinterest. And then I was like, okay, there's something here. So what I would do is I would take my social posts and turn them into blog posts because I started to get lazy because I was trying to do all of it, right? It goes from like one platform to like 5 platforms. And you're like, oh my gosh, how am I going to do this? I'm a one-woman show. I have no money. I have to just do, and I'm a projector. I have limited energy. What the heck am I going to do? And so I just started taking my captions and putting them on my blog and then creating pins for them. And then I would send them an email. And that's all I did for years. I would just keep repeating the same thing over and over again. And it kept growing and it kept growing and it kept growing.
So
and then,
okay, I have to ask you a question really quick. So how do you take, and I know everyone who's listening to this is going to say the same thing, is like, how do you take, say, your post for Instagram? Say it's about, I'll put out for mine, it's about the LA gift show, the display I did. Like the girl who's doing my VA is reposting all of that same post on Twitter, on Facebook, but how do you turn that into a blog post? Like, do you just elaborate more than what you already put out? And then how, I mean, please explain.
there's a lot of levels to this. So if you want the basic homegirl, friend to friend, this is what you're going to do is way different than what I do for my clients, right? Obviously. So if you want the basic, you can just literally copy paste. Like if you want the basic, get that shit done, you can turn a caption and put it into a newsletter.
Damn.
You like so many people put so much stress on this.
Yes.
Right? And if you just eliminate the stress and say, I just want to give somebody my information. And the biggest tip I can give you too is think about how people are going to consume content on that platform. So Instagram is very quick. It's very easy, digestible. It's very like pretty, I guess you would say. It's like a carousel graphic or it's a reel or something, which Instagram's getting worse. But it used to be a caption, carousel graphic, and people read it, connect, all that. And so you can take that and then put it in a blog, but format it to where it's a little bit different because people are going to go to a blog to educate, right? They want to read. So if you can go in and make it a little more meaty. So say you have like, what would be, let's say like 3 tips to design a space. Let's just basic. And you did that in a carousel. Then you would go in and put it on a blog, but then you would break down those pieces and give a little bit more information, right? So you would just kind of like build on it.
Okay.
And then a newsletter is more conversational, right? So you're going to send them more of like an update type of vibe. Okay. And then you can link to your blog or you can write the whole blog in an email. It's up to you, whatever you feel like you're doing. There's not really a wrong way to do it. It's just what can you manage?
Yeah.
What can you get out there? And with my clients, I do a lot more. I pull like 6 different posts and turn it into something. Or I like go and take highlights and reels and everything and I merge it together to create something amazing and something fresh out of it. So there's different levels to this game, obviously. You can just copy paste, get it done, check the box, or you can take some time and really find the patterns of your content and create something new out of it. It's just on, your time constraint and what you can do.
So talk to me about, now you've got your blog out there. How long was it out there till you started gaining a following and then now jumped into what you're doing now, repurposing other people's content for your fresh designs?
So it was a long ass time. Like,
The pause on that.
yeah, I wish I could tell you overnight, friends. I mean, if I was selling a course, I might tell you that, but no, it took a long time. It was a lot of like, is this freaking worth it? Like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was a lot of that. It was a lot of, and I just, no matter what, I just stayed the course, right? I just kept going and I just kept saying like, okay, I'm going to post it. I'm going to post it. I'm going to post it. And I grew, and this is when I remember when ads started like really taking off, and I was like doing everything organically. Like, I've never paid a dime in ads, and my business has been insane ever since. Everything I've done is organic. And people were like, you have to do ads, you have to do ads. And I'm like, I don't want to. Like, I want to control my growth because I want to stay in that friend zone with people. I don't care about going viral. I don't care about that. I care about like deep connections. So I just kept going. And I'm like, if I get one person, then that's a win for me. And I would have, the cool part about Pinterest when it was popping, now it's a freaking pain in the ass, but Pinterest was, they really did help you. So you would put pins out and you would get so much traction on them. And I would have pins that would go viral and then my blog would blow up. Like, I got one pin. This is when I had my shirt subscription. I had one pin that was on packaging stuff, and my email list grew by 1,500 just by using that pin. So what I did was just keep cranking it out. But like I said, I just kept going, and like one thing worked, one thing didn't work. One thing worked, one thing didn't work. Like, I never stopped. And that's what I think people are like, oh, I did it.
Yeah.
It didn't work.
I forget her name, but she did, Boutique Hub is a big retailer paid subscription platform. And she also has an amazing podcast. For those who haven't listened to it yet, I think it's under the Boutique Hub interview podcast. But she had somebody from that, her whole business is in agency is Pinterest. And she was saying how much it's changed, especially now that videos added to it. And I don't think people understand the difference between a pin and a post, because Pinterest is a search engine. It is, or it's not. It is, or it's not a search engine. Now I'm getting
it is. No, okay, so Pinterest back in the day when it was popping, when I was obsessed with it, was a search engine. You would type in keywords, you would get your pin recognized. They all of a sudden are which I'll get a lot of hate for this, but I don't care. They are in the same boat as Instagram, where they're trying to be TikTok.
Yeah.
So everybody's trying to be TikTok, right? And every single people that are diehards for that platform are getting pissed, just like everybody's getting pissed at Instagram right now. There's that huge post going around that's like, keep Instagram.
Yep.
Same with Pinterest. So you would so once Pinterest introduced idea pins, which are story pins pretty much, same as Instagram. So you have idea pins, which are just stories. Then you have video pins and stagnant pins. So the stagnant pin's like the one where you do on Canva and you have like your little title. A video pin is just a video, and then a idea pin is a short story. But the thing was, they started preferring the idea pins, and the idea pins don't link anywhere. So you were saying, so instead of putting a stagnant pin that says like 3 tips to design this, then you have to put it in your stories now. And so to get that attention, and then you don't get a link to your blog anymore. So Pinterest was capturing all that traffic, and you're giving away all your stuff on the platform versus your blog. So people weren't clicking as much. So you can like literally see in your analytics, like from the beginning where story pins were getting like 14K views down to like 500, and your idea pins or your stagnant pins weren't getting anything.
Yeah.
And so I completely was like, I told all my clients, I go, this isn't worth it. I was like, I'm sorry, it's not worth it. And I closed up shop.
I had heard also that no, don't use hashtags. And I think a lot of people are still using hashtags it's just literally keywords. Oh, she got in.
Yep. I told you.
How did she open the door? Renee's cat is with her, and apparently her cat can enter the room and open the door by herself.
Yeah. She's magical. It's fine. Okay, so what were you saying?
But now hashtags are, you don't use
I
hashtags.
used them. Yeah, in the beginning, I'm like the type that's just like try it. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Try it and compare. A/B test. Do a test
Well,
that has it, a test that doesn't.
it used to, but the girl that I listened to this interview was like, don't bother with them anymore. It's like hashtag, don't use hashtag. And I also she had said what you just said too, is that, people put out something on Pinterest and it's like, okay, I did it. And it's like, you have to stay consistent with it
Yeah.
and you don't see anything for like months. And she said, really, truly, like people start to give up after
Oh
two.
yeah, especially as a manager because people are putting so much heavy ROI on it, and it's like, so as a Pinterest manager, I was saying like, hey, this isn't a one and done thing. This is like my packages were 6 months. Like, you are not going to grow in a month. It's not going to happen, especially if you're starting from scratch. You are building nothing, like something from nothing, along with 100 million people doing the same.
Damn. See,
So the fact that you would think it would grow in a week is crazy, right?
well, I think a lot of people are instant gratification, including myself.
Well, I did that with TikTok. I did like 3 videos and I didn't freaking get famous. And I was like, what the shit?
Okay, so talk to me about you. Now you have your blog and now you obviously have people following you. So when you started your business, like tell people what you do for your business. I mean, we're talking about it, but like really, like if somebody goes to you as a client, talk to you what you walk them through for your industry.
Yeah. So I started with Pinterest marketing, and I was like, every time I would interview clients to work with me for Pinterest marketing, they would only have one platform. They would have their Instagram. They'd be like, well, I want to use Pinterest to grow my following on Instagram. And I'm like, and this was when Instagram like rewarded you for 10K, right? Remember when you had 10K, you can get links. It was like the magical freaking thing. So everybody would be like, well, I want to grow my Instagram. I'm like, so you're going to pay me to grow one platform to another platform, but you're not going to get any of that. And they're like, yeah. So I kept realizing I would send them home with a list. I would say, get your newsletter set up, get an opt-in set up, get your blog set up so that you can actually capitalize on this traffic that you're going to get. Because I'm not going to give you all of this traffic and send it to Zuck's house. I'm going to give it to you so you can get that stuff on your website.
So I don't think people realize that. Like that.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, why? Think about it this way. Let me break it down. Let's just say you print all these flyers for your party. You're having this amazing party. You go and hand out all these flyers. Actually, you don't even hand them out. You paid me to go hand them out on the corner. You paid this teenager to go hand out flyers on your party. The people come to the party, but then you're like, oh no, it's not here. It's at my neighbor's house. I don't have the party here. Are you crazy? I don't want you in my house. It's not clean. You can go to my neighbor's house.
Total sense.
Right? That's what they were doing. And I'm like, so you're going to do all this work and then give it to Zuckerberg. Okay, that makes sense. No. So I would give them a list. I'd be like, get your blog set up. Well, what do I do with my blog? Okay, this is the kind of content that needs to go on your blog. Okay, I need it. You don't have any emails? Well, how are you going to nurture these people that are coming to your house? You got no snacks? Okay, so then I would tell them to set up their email. Then I would help them with, okay, what kind of content goes on emails? Then I would say, okay, you got to get your opt-ins, your videos, all of this stuff. And finally, I worked with my business coach and she was like, okay, yeah, here's the ticket. It's repurposing is your freaking magic. Pinterest is just what you're doing. Like, I didn't love Pinterest. I just did it because it paid me money. So when I started launching that, I opened Fresh Life Marketing. And that's what I do is done for you content repurposing. So I give you the foundations of content so that when you are doing all of this work, like going on podcasts and speaking and getting people, you have something to serve them when they meet you. Because if you only have social, say you only have Instagram, and you're not posting anything or something happens, like, that's it. You're done.
Yeah. I don't think people realize like how, because I have accounts that, oh, we have Instagram, but we never use it. I'm like, and that includes like some pretty well-known retailers. And it's like, you don't seem to understand like social media, like this is how it's going. And it's like, and if you can reach out all these other avenues, that is what's going to grow I don't think people understand that. I mean, I know when the pandemic happened, like that a lot of people, especially people my age and my generation that have stores and done it the same way always, and they didn't have somebody younger that they weren't comfortable going on camera. They weren't comfortable going live or whatever. Like the pandemic had a very swift like exit of people that were not comfortable. And now like, this is the way the industry is. And for a lot of people, no one connects the dots and understands like what you do and how all of that is all related, and all of it is going to funnel out into your business.
Well, you
How,
have to think of it. I like to break it down into like super simple ways of seeing it. I'm very visual. So it's kind of like, okay, you know how you have, we all want to make money. That's the goal, right? So you put a post out, 10 people see it. You put an email out, 5 people see it. You put a blog out, 1 person sees it. 1 buys. That's all you need.
yep.
Like, people think, okay, well, I didn't get anything out of it. Okay, then try it again. Did you get a sale off of every Instagram post you did? No. So why do you not think that, why wouldn't you put your feelers out and grow that relationship on all of these platforms? Because think about it. You never know what that final piece of somebody going to make that purchasing decision is.
Yeah.
You never know. Well, I know that when I'm on Instagram, I'm not really thinking about buying unless I'm actually searching, right? Unless like you told me about a friend and I'm like, hey, I need somebody to help me with, like one of my friends, she's an OBM. She does Dubs Auto builds. So I put it on my stories yesterday.
Wait, back up. What?
Okay, Dubs Auto is a CRM, like for service-based businesses. It's this freaking amazing thing, a tool. So I hate it. So I hired her to build out mine for my business. And so I shared her on my page, and then people would go and search her, right? Because they're like, oh, like I'm going to click on it and go and deep dive onto her content. Yeah. But if I'm just sitting, like there's somebody that I'm investing in or on the fence about, I look on Instagram, and then usually I'm doing it when I'm busy, right? You're not sitting down really on Instagram. You're just doing something because you're bored. Then she sends me an email that night. I'm in my sweatpants watching my TV, and I just have my laptop up because I'm working. I get an email. And she tells me a story about a client that had a before and after. And I'm like, holy shit, that's me. Click to buy. Like, you never know what that place is going to be. Or what if you have a blog that's like giving them the answer and they're like, holy crap, I just figured this out. She got me a win for free. What do you think it's going to be like to work with her?
Yeah.
Right? And people cut their arm off. They're like, this is like another thing. It's free. Like, emails are free. A blog is free. I mean, if anything, it's less than $20, right?
What is your thoughts on people getting hammered? Because I think a lot of people, like, I believe in the school of giving something to get something. So,
oh yeah, 100%.
I give all this free content, and then it's like, if you want more, send. I'm the first to say, if you put your email in, there's once a month newsletter. I won't fucking spam the hell out of you. Like because people are really reluctant on giving their email because of just that. I mean, like I've got my email out there. I'm not kidding you. It's like every day. It's like, okay. And after a while, it's like, I'm not even reading it because it's like, you've spam, and I don't mean spam. It's like an email every day is a lot, I think. But what is your thought on that?
You only need to send whatever you can manage, right? I'm a big believer in 1 or 2 a month, like whatever you want. And yeah, it's giving value. Obviously my core value in my business is provide value always. It's like, give away the tips, because how are they going to trust you? People have been burned so much these days. And with the rise of the short form video of like TikTok and Reels, is anybody can show up now, and it's just a turn and burn atmosphere. There's no nurturing. There's no deep relationship building going on right now. So people are just hollow, and it's like everybody's been so spammed by sales that when somebody finally just helps somebody, it's like so refreshing. You're like, oh my gosh, like this girl's so nice. And it doesn't take a lot, right? Because think about it. Like when I repurpose my clients' content, usually if you have a course, like I can repurpose the shit out of that thing. And I give you content for 6 months to a year, right? And they're like, well, I don't want to repurpose my course because that's paid. I'm like, no. This is the part you're missing. You can break up your course into little tiny blog posts. Nobody is going to search and put it all together. Everybody wants it packaged in a pretty bow. Nobody's going to go sift through all your posts and all your blog posts to make sure that they're going to hack your course. All you're doing is giving them a freaking win, and then you sell your course at the end. Done.
Interesting. I love that idea, because I'm not doing a course, but I'm in the process of building on a subscription-based platform where we're literally we'll film for the whole day in a store in real life inventory, real life situations, because the people that are doing it, it's like all perfect, and there's a perfect amount of inventory, and it's like, it's not like that. And so we're filming a whole entire day, and then we're breaking it up into bite-sized pieces. So it's like all tabletops. And if you want to go back and watch the whole video, but that's brilliant to think of like taking a piece of that and putting it out there. Here's this, because you're right. No one's going to go through and put piecemeal all that together.
No, and then you
Especially
just put a call to action. Say, hey, you like what I'm putting down? Here you go. Here's my course. Buy it. Done.
So when people come to sign on to work with you, what does that look like?
So they do, I have packages. So it's literally 6 months to a year of content. Like that's how I understand a solopreneur. I understand that having a team monthly is a huge stress burden. And so when you work with me, I give you content to last you 6 months to a year.
Wow.
You get a huge package because I want you to be able to just have your foundation set so that you can. So say if you had your content bank ready, you can go and film and not feel like you're going to lose, right? You're not going to be like, oh crap, I didn't send an email. Oh crap, I don't have a blog. I don't have a post. So my stuff gives you blogs and emails and all of your foundations to get you omnipresent. That's the goal of my packages. And then you're off to the races. You don't have to talk to me for a year. I love it. Then I have a social package for all my little people that are like, nah, I'm not doing social. I don't like it. I do it for you. You get graphics, you get captions, you get everything. And then that way you can have this filler content of, hey, I'm busy, I'm launching something, or I just want to take vacation with my kids, or life gets busy, or you're just like, I hate social media for a freaking week. I don't even want to talk to it. I give you content for that so that you just have a bank to pull from. You have a Google Drive folder that's full of your content.
So you basically just say, build a library for them to just
exactly what it is.
Check out what you want.
Exactly. And it could be a VA doing it. It could be you doing it. It could be anybody doing it. You could just say, hey, here's my content, make it happen. And it's super easy because it's all in your branding. A lot of people get stressed out with social media managers or VAs because they start to take on their content and they put it in their words. Yeah. And then it starts to not sound like them. And that's what a lot of my clients come to me for is they're like, my brand doesn't sound like me anymore. At all. So I do a VIP day where we get you back on track where I'm like, okay, what lights you up? Like what we were talking about before we started recording is like, what lights you up? Like, are you showing up as the same person you are outside of this online space? Like, are you using your isms? Are you coming in hot? Because a lot of my clients aren't. I go and look at their content and they're this like buttoned up, boxed person. And then I get on the call and they're all, what the fuck was that? I'm like, who are you?
Yeah, I think a lot of people, I think people are so guarded and they are so, because in the world of Instagram, let's be honest, like everybody's perfect and it's like the perfect body and the perfect house.
Doesn't work anymore.
Yeah. And nothing is authentic. And I think that, I can say for sure, like I'm as authentic as it gets. Like who I am on this podcast and who I am on my stories is pretty much legitimately me. Good, bad, or indifferent. But I think people get caught up in the perfectionism of like, well, that person looks like this. And it's like, and it's not even authentic. And I think that
doesn't even sound like them. It's like, it doesn't work.
And people love about you. That's what I've always loved about from meeting you there and then following you through stories and what you do. Like you are as authentic as it gets. And it's like, I think that's what honestly is what will sell you and your brand if you just sound like your fucking self.
And that's what I help people with. A lot of my clients, I do VIP days where they come in and I reset all of their brand pillars. I double down on what they're good at. I go through all of their stuff and say, okay, this is performing. Have you ever thought of this? Like, because I'm a projector, obviously I'm here to guide. I'm here to see people deeply. And I see what is lighting them up because I can see their whole energy shift when they talk about this one thing. And it's almost like I just give them permission and I encourage them to share their sauce with the world because so many people are like, I can't say that. I can't do that. That's not my industry. I don't care. Break the industry down. Burn it to the ground with you. That's what I did. I have an agency. Like I have a big, like my industry is very buttoned up and very like that. And I come in with my chickens and I'm like, you know what? No, like we're going this way. And all of my business is referral.
Yeah.
I have a high retention rate because of it. Like everybody keeps coming back because they know that I'm going to take care of them and I'm going to be honest with them and they feel comfortable. They don't ever feel like there's a dumb question or anything like that. And it's like people that don't like you aren't going to hire you. That's okay. And the people that do are going to be ride or dies for life. And so many people don't do that.
It's funny. Another thing that I never even paid attention to, Ashlyn, who actually I want to introduce you to, I'm going to send an email.
Love it. I'm here for that.
It's a total side thing. Well, Ashlyn has a business called Muse House Retreat and Muse House. And she created this beautiful metaphysical crystal store. And she created no, Renee, it's like her episode was Wednesday. So if you want to listen to her,
mandatory.
Yeah, 2 days ago's thing. But if watch it on YouTube, because she's actually filming it from, she's at the Muse House Retreat, which is in
Love.
Agoura Hills, California, this insanely beautiful, clean, modern, like home with a pool, and it's in the hills, and she has retreats. So she'll have readers and sound baths and like all these amazing. So I want to introduce you guys to, this is a total sideline. I'm so sorry, everyone. But her social media person was like, because Ash is fucking beautiful, like grossly beautiful, and she's equally as beautiful inside, but her social media person is like, honestly, like we get so much more traction when it's you on the post, and it's when it's your picture, like the traction is 10 times the amount of likes that we get. And when I was like, God, I didn't even think about that, and I started going back through my posts of where I'm either post from like a kid when I cut all my bangs off, and it's like this hideous
Oh
little
my
like,
gosh. Oh
oh
my
my God,
gosh. Oh my gosh.
where
We all went through that.
where you're just you, and it's like, God, she's right. So now I'm trying, because I'm comfortable on stories, I'm comfortable going on camera, I'm comfortable doing this, but for some reason, having my picture taken or like the foot, I am so fucking uncomfortable and so awkward. Like I don't even know how to. That's why the UPP. That's why I didn't do the picture for the VIP headshots. I didn't even do it because I was like so
You
awkward.
just need the right photographer, friend. Oh my
Oh my
gosh. You just need the right photographer to freaking pull that beast out. I know it's in there.
totally just like skipped out. But I realize now, like I'm honestly trying to do more of that, because I don't, and I'm sure I'm not the only one that doesn't realize. So now Ash is like going live, not going live, but she's actually doing stories now. Her photo is the brand, and she's fucking gorgeous. So I'm sure a lot of people are not comfortable not only being their authentic self, but showing up on camera, like in their feed, because it's not all about what we all do and what the pretty pictures that we post or work that we did. Like people, I think, are really interested in the person behind the brand.
That's exactly what it is. You pick the this is the biggest thing. Is like if you have three people in the same industry. Same exact thing, same exact price, same exact service, same exact everything, right? You have them line up next to each other and you each give them the same post-it with the same freaking message on it. They're not going to read it the same. One's going to be super soft-spoken. One's going to be like me and threw an F-bomb in there. Another one's going to be probably mellow or whatever. And you're going to be attracted to that one person, where somebody else is going to be attracted to that person. And you are the defining factor. Like, you're the difference. I'm the difference between anybody else that does what I do.
And I think
you know what I mean? It's like I'm the sauce.
and I think that's the big message for me is you want people to be invested in you, not a fake you or personified you, like you, not like the Instagram people and all. Like it needs to be you. And I think that's like, to me, the biggest message. But the repurposing and spreading it out there is the other.
Exactly.
Is the cat back in?
Yes, she's driving me nuts. Sorry. That's what I'm saying. You have to have a farm and people have to just understand. Get.
Tell me about, okay, so somebody signs on with you, you give them 6 months worth of content. When it comes to you doing do you do people's social media? They're like, I can't even do it. I don't even know the bandwidth. I don't even know how to do it or what to do it or hashtags and all that. Like, so you also provide that service.
So I do a social package where you get the content. Like my sweet spot is content, right? So now instead of you having to do your graphics and your captions and all of that, I give you a content bank with all of that. So now you can just schedule it out and post it. I don't do hashtags. Hashtags is its own service, 100%. Somebody that is amazing at hashtags, but I give you all of the content banks so that you can either hand it off to a VA or you can do it yourself and just schedule it and not have to show up for a month. That's what I do for the social package. And then with my content package, the big one, you get captions and graphics in there as well. So you're literally set to schedule out all of your content for 6 months.
But you as the client, you have to do the work.
Yes, you have to do it. It's more for people that have like a VA or they have access to that, or they're just a one-woman show that's like, I can schedule it all. I just don't have time to write it. Like that's usually what it is. People going on maternity leave, or if they're in a big launch or they're in a big step in their business where like, hey, I'm going to launch something or I'm creating this new branch of my business. I don't have time to keep staying consistent, but they know the value of staying consistent. And they're like, I can't drop off. Like, are you kidding? Like, no. So I give them the ability to do that.
So, and then for people that can't, aren't ready to make that commitment, I can tell you right now that your Instagram, like the amount of content, free content you give away is amazing. I know I've reposted stuff because it's like, I don't know that much about Instagram. I'm involved in it, but I certainly don't have like 20,000 people following me. And it's my little tribe of retailers. But your content and what you put out, it's like eye-opening. It's like, it always, like I said, the repurposing thing alone was like the mind-blowing. That's the biggest.
Yeah, it's just little hacks. Like I try to help people with like, I understand, like you need to have content for me to work with you. Like you can't just be a day one starter. Like you have to have content built. That's my sweet spot, is when you have content for me to pull. And so I always give people tips to get there. Like, hey, this is a hack. If you want to do it this basic way, here's how to do it. You know what I mean? Because I want everybody to win. I don't want people to work so hard. Like I get it. I've been there. I was like, what the hell? How am I going to do this? Like, and it seems like this big mountain that you're never going to accomplish, and you're just on this hamster wheel. So if I can give you a little bit of a hack to be like, okay, this is what you can do to kind of save your sanity and actually grow your business. And if you're the type that's actually caring about people and putting value out, of course I'm going to want you to succeed over these freaking other people that are just buying my shit all day. Like, hello, you know what I mean? I got to help them all. Like, I'm like, no, I'm tired of these people that just keep like, buy my shit and make you feel less than.
God, I'm so over. Like, but
right?
I gotta say, like, it is incredibly impressive to watch how the industry has changed, and like how you can be seemingly nobody and suddenly be raking in thousands of dollars just from buy my shit videos.
Yeah, but those people are going to weed out. I truly believe there's a shift happening more and more, because I know even my business, maybe you too, I know you kind of agreed, my business coach as well, we're all switching to referrals. Like, that is the lifeblood of my business. Social is a great way to introduce, because when you meet somebody, you say like, oh, go check out our Instagram. It's like the easiest way, and I think it's relevant. But having those emails and that nurturing is going away faster and faster because of the rise of like the TikTok videos, where it's just heavily turn and burn content and just consuming, where there's no engagement. There's no DMs. There's no back and forth like deep talk. I mean, in my DMs, I'm like in relationships with people. Like, we FaceTime, we video chat, we send pictures like, hey, I thought of you, I did this. Like, that's going away on TikTok. You're not doing that.
So you said so TikTok's the next thing. So TikTok is, okay, for me, I don't have anybody following me, but what I've found is like doing the TikTok with the voice overlay, of going, like if I video through a store and then I'm able to do the voiceover of this is what we're doing. That to me is like most genuine to me, because I'm not going to get up and sing. I'm not going to dance. I'm not going to do the pointing bullshit. Like, fuck that. But I will say though, it does, when I repurpose it onto Instagram, it is like, for my business, it's great because I can go give an explanation. And I've always said, like, I'm not out for TikTok to be a TikTok star or whatever. It's just, I wanted to up my Instagram game, and I know Reels does it, but I don't understand the difference of the two. They seem like nothing alike, but yet you cross promote both of them. Please explain the Reels and TikTok, the difference.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing. Everything that you put on TikTok and Reels is interchangeable. It's all the same, right? It's just you don't want to use the same video. This is the biggest hack that I've done. What I do that works is I do the video in my phone and then I put it on both separately, because instead of repurposing it to both, then you have like the TikTok one, it feels ingenuine, you know what I mean? So I like to double down on Reels, and then I repurpose it to TikTok. Or another hack, if you're even lazier, this is me, I go on stories, because usually you're way more comfortable on stories than you are on TikTok or Reels. So if you're going to do a Reel, just go to your stories and talk in your stories and then download it and turn it into a Reel.
Yeah, like that's brilliant.
You know what I mean? Like, if you're going to overthink it and get stressed out and be like, oh shit, I'm doing a Reel, and then all of a sudden your armpits are sweaty, you're freaking out, like, it's not worth it, right? But then if you can pop your little face on stories and talk till the cows come home, there you go. Yeah, that's going to sell. So just download the videos off of stories and be mindful that, hey, I'm going to turn this into a Reel, right? And then just go on stories and say, here's 3 tips to design a space in your story voice, and then download it and turn it into a Reel, put some music on it, and you're done. Like,
I love that. And I think you had also said also just film yourself doing it like, and I forget what was it. It was during the conference anyway, but that's more or less what you were saying is like,
Yeah,
do it
don't
when you're
overthink
more
it.
comfortable. Yeah. I think a lot of people overthink it. Okay. I want to talk about your podcast because again, as far as free content and understanding business and Kat's, podcast is amazing. And you
Aw,
guys
thank
have
you.
had some really great interviews. Tell me a little bit about how that started. And I die when I see like when Kat was like, everyone's saying Renee's picking on me and like it's like hilarious.
So I actually met Kat when I was doing my subscription box, and I DM'd her on Pinterest or on Etsy. I sent her a message and I said, "Hey, can we FaceTime?" I didn't know her or anything.
Be like, okay.
She was like, okay. And so we hopped on a FaceTime chat. Like, that's how I met her.
I
Like,
love
that's
that.
it. That's exactly how I met Kat. Like, she's in Chicago, I'm in California. And I was like, hey, I want to buy your pencils. Can you make these? And then they ended up being too expensive. And I was like, oh no, I can't buy them. I was like, I have a fixed subscription price. I can't buy them. And we ended up just becoming friends. And we did a live one day talking about something. And my husband was like, oh my God, that was the best conversation ever. Like, I swear my husband's like my business coach, but he's like, that was amazing. Like, you need to do that. And she wanted to do a podcast forever. And I was like, no, I'm not doing it. I have no interest in being on a podcast. I'm not going to do it. Finally, she wore me down. We started the podcast, and our banter is just like, she is a total type A manifesting generator, chaos, 800 things a minute, and I am not. I am a projector that shows up as I am, let me flow. So our banter back and forth was just like instant magic of small business amazingness.
And how long have you guys been doing it now?
So we're going to be on 100 episodes. So it was like, I think it's like 2 years.
Damn, that's
We're going to get on, I'm at like 96. So she took the month off or the summer off because she has a shit ton of stuff going on. I mean, she just did the most amazing event.
so people know Kat is Kitty Meow Boutique. We had her on. A lot of people sell her products. A lot of people she's been doing the shows through her showrooms and whatnot. So that's for people that are wondering who this is. It's Kitty Meow.
And she's amazing. She's the most talented person I've ever met. The kindest heart, like
She is
true
really.
fucking gem and total badass. And like, so she took the summer off to be with the kids and just slow down, which I've been telling her to do this for the past year. Like, Kat, you need to stop for a minute.
I don't know
Like,
how she was doing because the planning and preparation for UPP, I can't even imagine
oh
what
no, I almost killed
like.
her. I was like, you need to stop. I'm like, you're going to do this again?
That's a
I'm like,
lot.
we're not going to be friends. This isn't going to work. It's a lot. And on top of running a business, on top of having a newborn, like, she had so much on her plate. So she
I
took
still
the month off.
can't get newborn. That's crazy.
And yeah, little Nathaniel's barely one. And so I was like, go ahead, take the month off, take the summer off. And I started doing what I wanted to do, which was Woo Woo Wednesday, which is all about human design and crystals and manifestation, law of
Yes.
attraction, dreams, and like what I absolutely love. And so I've been doing that for the summer, and we're just going to reconvene at the end and see, where that goes. And it's okay to change. It's okay to evolve. It's okay to try something and say like, hey, this is burning me out or this isn't burning. Like, so many people think that once you decide something, you're stuck in it. And we're proof you're not.
How did you guys, because the podcast is Dreams to Plan, right? Dreams to
Mm-hmm.
Plan podcast. How did you guys come up with the name?
Dreams to Plants, my husband. I'm
Love.
telling you, he's like, I'm married to Kat. Like, Kat and him are they're both manifesting generators. They're the exact same person. So we were trying to come up with a name, and I was like, it's like something goals or something like that. And I told my husband, I'm like, we need a name. And he's a structural engineer in drafting and all of that. So of course he was like, Dreams to Plans. I'm like, done. And that's how we came up with it.
Well, yeah, my husband's like my business manager. He's like, actually,
Yeah.
my next interview is with my friend Dale, who's head of Caton, which is a big surf brand. And Dave's like got all these questions for me to ask.
Yeah,
I'm
they're
like,
so funny. It's like they're your biggest cheerleader. It cracks me up. I'm like, Tyler knows, like, he'll be sitting here on like a podcast in the background and like, you know what I mean? Or it's just funny. Like, I love that he's encouraging, of course, but it's just like,
Yeah.
I call him the Dream Crusher because I'm like, I'm like, oh, the Dream Crusher is here. Cause I always have to ask, like, he always like brings me back to earth, if that
I
makes
love-
sense.
So Woo Woo Wednesday now is is going swimming. Like you just interviewed Erin Claire, which I'm so jealous. I love her. But so people, so I don't know. I don't talk about human design very often. So I don't think a lot of people know what it is.
Oh, it's the best thing ever.
Human design goes along with astrology. It works with the time and place you're born. And much like astrology has to do with all the nodes, correct? I don't know which node I'm in, but
It's literally a blueprint for you. That's all it is.
and it is, I swear to God, so dead on. Much like
Oh, yeah.
astrology, like I am straight up Capricorn, like there's no, like it is me, but I feel like human design digs even deeper, and it is so dead on to who I am. And and I now I can kind of figure out like I can't even remember who, but I was talking to somebody and they're like, oh, I think I'm this and blah blah. I'm like, and she's like, but I didn't like that answer, so I don't think I'm that. I'm
A
like,
lot of people say that.
sure
Erin said that.
person.
Erin was like, I don't want to. She had a client that said like, I don't want to be that. It's like, well, sorry,
Yeah.
like you are that, and she put it into words. She said, it's literally putting you into words.
Yeah, I
And
think
when
if
you
you
realize
lean
it,
in, if like even though the stuff that you don't
amazing.
like hearing about yourself and you really lean in, you really realize, and that's kind of what guides you. And I think we talked about this off camera, is that my sign and my human design, it's like if I'm doing stuff that doesn't light me up, it drains me, and it's not the best work for me. It's not the best work for my clients. And it's like, I recognize that now after the last 6 months of work. It's like, I know exactly what lights me up and I know exactly what doesn't. And being a people pleaser, that's really hard to accept that. But I realize at the end of the day, how I feel at the end of a job that we've spent months and weeks on, it's like walking away from that, feeling like this literally, like this was the best 6 weeks. It was so amazing. I was creative. It gave me life, as opposed to ones where I'm like, I can't wait till this is done.
Yep.
Not what I want to be doing. Like it's really interesting. So I'm excited for the Woo Woo Wednesdays. I can't wait. When does Erin Claire's come out?
I think I have 2 in front of her, so I think she's about 3 weeks.
So does your podcast come out once a week?
Yeah, once a week, every Wednesday.
So everybody will be able to follow along. Please give everybody your handles so everyone knows how they can follow you. We will have all the links also in the notes, because I swear to God, everybody, you need to follow Renee. I mean, the amount of free content and the amount of eye-opening things that she will tell you is mind-blowing.
I love it. I love it. And if you like some chicken stuff, I mean, I'm your girl.
Right.
Aspiring farmer. So my personal brand is my girlfriend Renee, and then my business is Fresh Life Marketing, and the podcast is Dreams to Plans Podcast, and you can find all of us on the same page. I'm pretty everywhere. But Fresh Life Marketing is where you're going to find all the content stuff. That's where I like to just break it down and really make it easy for you, because I'm so sick of all of the fancy jargon that's out there, and I just really want to make your life easier and not add to your stress. So thank you for having me. I'm so happy. If they have any questions, if anybody has anything, just let me know. I'll help you in any way I can.
Yeah, she's really good at answering DMs and whatnot. I mean, that's the great thing, is that you can, people have questions and it's like you reach out and then it's like just radio silence, which is very indicative of what the person is like if you're going to work for them.
Exactly. And that's definitely, like I said, I'm a nurturer. I build my relationships in the DMs. Like when we talk, it's like I'll send a voice message or I'll send a video or something like that. Like that's important to me. So I never, ever, ever do that. I check all of them.
I love that. Thank you. I really appreciate your time with me. I'm so excited.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. Are you kidding me? I'm so excited.